leaving school, training as a primary school teacher, and taught in primary schools for about 12 years in total. I think 9 of those years were part-time, 3 full-time. And alongside the part-time teaching, initially just did an introductory counselling course out of curiosity, really, at the local FE college, and then followed that with a certificate course and then a diploma. And gradually began to move away from teaching and into counselling. It took rather longer than I hoped it might to actually find enough paid work to support me in counselling. I was on voluntary placements for a while to get some experience. And the second of those was actually in a secondary school, initially voluntary, and then after a while I managed to persuade the school to pay me for that. Was very lucky to have an experienced supervisor who'd done a lot of work in schools, because although I was familiar with the school environment, counselling in schools is very different to teaching in schools. And after a year or so of doing that, I did a course specifically for counsellors working with children and young people, which I found really useful. Really helped me to develop my confidence and my sense of what I believed, and how I wanted to work with children and young people. And following that, began to work for Relate's Children and Young People Service in Derbyshire. Worked for a total of 9 years there. Did some supervisor training and some supervision for Relate's Young People Service as well. Moved on from Relate about 3 years ago, and I'm currently counselling in a secondary school and 2 primary schools, as well as doing some work in private practice with young people and adults, and some supervision. And again, a fair amount of that supervision is of counsellors who are working with children and young people. So that's about where I am now, I think.